Going online, you're going to find hundreds and hundreds of a variety of different products and services that you might want, okay? And there are people and there are companies out there that are selling pretty much anything and everything. You're looking for a car, the options are endless. You're looking for a face mask, it's a question of, well, what color do you want? You're looking for an action camera, you're going to have 100 different ones to choose from at different price points, and you're going to find something that kind of appeals to you. So the question is, how do you compete with this online chaos? How do you compete with all these products and services similar to what you're trying to sell in an online environment or in a sales environment? How are you going to make sure that you can stand out from the chaos and get noticed by your customers? So I'm going to share with you 4 secrets that are going to help you get noticed in all of this chaos. But before we begin, please remember to hit the subscribe button down below and make sure that you hit the bell icon so that you receive notifications every time we post a new video. Cool, let's get started. The first secret is that there is no silver bullet when it comes to sales success. Long-term consistency will always beat short-term intensity, okay? So a successful sales strategy is a long-term strategy. It's not a short-term strategy. The best consistent salespeople out there in the industry don't sell this month to reach this month's target. They reach this month's target through work they did 2, 4, 6, or 12 months ago. The work that they're doing in this month, the majority of the work they do this month is in preparation for next or the future month's sales. All right, so they're far more long-term. The most average salespeople out there chase their tail every single month. They chase their tail to reach their targets every single month. They work in this month to reach the targets for this month. And they can do this for 2 or 3 months, and then you have 2 or 3 great months, and then 1 or 2 bad months. And then you have 2 or 3 great months, and then you have 1 or 2 bad months. So the sales aren't consistent. We're up and then we're down, and then we're up and then we're down. And the cycle just keeps repeating itself. And this underperformance is caused by something called burnout. And it's probably the biggest issue in the sales industry today, is that we chase our tails to reach targets this month, and then we just simply burn out. And our results are always up and down. So if you want those consistently high and improving results, you've got to look at a medium to long-term sales strategy that suits you. So that's secret number 1. Secret number 2 is that customers don't buy rationally, customers buy emotionally. You've probably heard this before. So what it means is that customers don't really buy the product or service that you're offering. What they're doing is they're buying the solution. They're buying a solution to the need that they have, okay? The product or service that you sell is probably one of 100 different options that are out there. And even if you think and you believe that your product and your service is a unique offering, the question is, how does the customer see it? Do they also notice it or see it as a unique offering, or are you in this chaos of online selling? So you want to rise above that. So as an example, let's think about buying a car, the rational versus the emotional. Rationally, buying a car is a form of transport, and it's designed to get you from A to B, all right? That's exactly what it is. But emotionally, buying a car is far more than that. There is status, there is style, there is social currency that you're buying, okay? So as an example, if you're looking at a Volkswagen versus a Camry, versus a Toyota, they're very similar priced. They sort of compete with each other in the marketplace out there. And you might have chosen to buy the Volkswagen. Now, you didn't choose the Volkswagen over the Toyota out of a rational decision. You did it out of an emotional decision. In your mind, you felt that there was more value in the Volkswagen purchase in your own emotional decision, in your own emotional mind, than buying the Toyota. And that's why you chose the Volkswagen over the Toyota, or vice versa. You bought the Toyota over the Volkswagen because in your emotional mind, you found more value in the Toyota than the Volkswagen. So it's very much about the emotion. We buy an emotion, we don't buy on the rational side of our minds. Now, the same thing can be said for big purchases, big companies. So if you look at like a fleet purchaser, for example, someone who's responsible for buying cars for the whole company. Okay, they're buying quite a few cars, obviously. And they're probably not going to actually buy the car to drive themselves, they're buying it for the business. And even that decision isn't a rational decision. It isn't just about the numbers, like do the numbers add up. They have to be able to justify why they decided to purchase that particular brand for the fleet. So their emotional decision behind it isn't necessarily about the performance of the vehicle that they're buying. It's the performance of their position that they that they are worried about. They need to be able to justify why they decided to buy what they wanted to buy. So even if it's a big sale or a one-on-one sale, the customer is buying with an emotion. The customer is not buying rationally. Another example is the business of decontamination in COVID-19. And there are basically two categories when it comes to the services and products for decontamination. There is the cheap, get it done, tick a box category, and then there's the more expensive, doing it right type category. And each of these categories has their own emotion behind the purchase of that particular product or service. So in the first category, the emotion is, what does it take to be compliant at the bare minimum? So it's about ticking the box. What do we need to do right now just to become compliant so we can open our doors again? And if that is the emotion to purchase, then that's the emotion that you need to sell. You need to sell that your product or service is going to allow them to open the doors quickly because it's the bare minimum needed to comply with regulation. That's the emotion. If it's the second category, where the emotion is more, we're not going to go for the cheapest necessarily, but we want to do the right thing. We want to buy the right product. The emotion there could be that they are worried about the wellness of their staff, that they don't want, their staff to get ill, and then suddenly they have to close their doors again. So their emotional purchase is around their staff, the wellness of their staff. So in that discussion, you got to sell and talk about wellness of the products and services that you offer. You got to sell the solution. You got to talk to the emotion, not the rationale. The rationale is just simply the thing, and the product doesn't do much if it doesn't solve a need that the customer has. And you need to emotionally attach your product to the needs that the customer has. Secret number 3 is that, and this is probably my favorite one, is that facts tell and stories sell. Because anybody can hop online and search to their heart's content all the facts about the product or services that you're offering. And they can do a comparison with other companies, but it's all about the facts. And the facts alone will not convince someone to buy a particular product or service. Because once I've got the facts, I then myself as the customer, I've got to join the dots and I've got to decide for myself, is this the right product or service for me? So I'm actually left with the work. I'm actually selling myself. I'm selling to myself because I've got to decide, yes, I'm going to go with this one, I'm going to go with that one. And, so the facts don't sell anything. The facts just tell me information, and I would have then make up my mind based on information that I have. But stories, however, stories do sell. So the story of how your product or service solves a specific problem for me, that's what's going to sell me. So if you can tell me why your product and service solves my need, or how it solves my need and why I should have it, that's the thing that I'm going to buy. All right. So an example of this is, no one goes to a hardware store to buy a drill for the sake of the drill. You buy a drill because you need a hole. So the hole is the thing that you need solved. The hole is the need you need solved. That's where the emotion is. So the story needs to be that this drill will drill the perfect hole that you're looking for. The drill itself and the different colors and different options, that's kind of irrelevant. What am I going to buy? If you can tell me why I should buy this one because it solves the need that I have, which is the hole that I want to drill, that's going to get me interested in buying your particular product. Okay. Secret number 4 is a sales strategy that I like to call pull, 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 close. And I love this strategy. I think the strategy is something that you need to embrace, and you need to really strategize hard, and you need to really own this particular strategy. And it is definitely one of those long-term sales strategies, to get to that peak performance. Pull, 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 close. And basically how the strategy works is that you don't want to sell me your product. You want me, as your customer, to want to buy the product from you. All right. So you want to pull me into towards you, and then you want me to want to buy from you. You don't want me. You don't want to sell to me. You don't want me to feel that you're just selling the whole time. It's about pulling me in, that I actually want to buy from you. And what I mean by this is that don't sell me the facts and the price tag, because you know what, I can go search that online. You're going to sell me a reason to do business with you. You're going to sell me why I should buy your product or service. So you need to tell me, maybe what I'm missing out by not buying your product or service. What am I going to be missing out on? Or you're going to tell me the story of how your product and service is going to solve my needs possibly better than the next product or service. So tell me the stories that we discussed before, and you need to put them in a way that's going to pull me towards you. You're right. That's the whole idea. Because then when I want to actually buy, when I'm now going, great, I've got all this information and I want to buy, all you now need to do is close the deal. You don't have to sell to me because I'm already decided that I'm going to buy from you. So it's about pulling. You want to pull me with the stories about why I should buy your service or product. You're going to pull me in by telling me stories about what I might be missing out on. And you want to pull me in with stories about how your product is going to solve my needs. And then when I'm ready to buy, that's when you close the deal.